Hello, Perry Peacock here with Wilderness Innovation, and doing a setting up camp here, winter camp tonight, at night in the snow, of course. My Goal Zero lighthouse up here, and suspended from a ridge line. And this lantern's really nice. It's variable. It's got variable light output, so I can turn it up pretty bright or I can dim it down. And I can have it be I can be 360 or 180 degree output on it. I wind up setting up in the nighttime, I think, more than any other time. Well, over here's the creek, so I'm right on the creek. Probably hear it down there. See if we can zoom the light in there. Alright, so I'm going to set up between that tree and this tree right here, I think, and set up my hammock, and then I'm going to put a underquilt under it, and then I've got a special setup for my large blanket, PSBL. So I've made it so it attaches to my underquilt. There we go. One of the nice things about the winter time is you can drag in plenty of gear if you want to. Pull it in on a sled or whatever. And I've got my multi-purpose gear bag here. And I've got my underquilt and poncho and a few other things in here. So I'm going to get this stuff out, get her set up here. Now I want to get this thing strung up halfway between the two trees, and I think I'm pretty close right about there. Dyneema cord is nice because although it seems to hold these knots pretty well, like these half hitches and stuff, but it's slippery enough that if I poke down with the end just a little bit, it just starts sliding out. And so even with the gloves on my hands, it's no problem at all undoing the knots. So it's kind of a little plus there for Dyneema. All right, well, I got the hammock up now, and I used Dyneema cord, the Amsteel Dyneema cord between the trees here, which gives me a very little stretch. All right, down here in this multi-purpose gear bag, I've got my underquilt in there. All right, so I've got one edge. I always do the edge closest to me. So I've got my head end and my foot end snapped. So now I just go in here and catch these other snaps here on this side. Okay, so that's all hooked up now. I just reach down here and grab the other side that I just flipped it underneath. So all I do here is same situation. And since we're kind of dealing in the snow here, I'm going to snap both ends up. I shook out the snow. That way I'm snow free down inside of there. And now I can just come right up in here and snap this thing on. It's pretty simple. And the nice thing is this helps to seal out the wind and drafts and stuff from coming up through here. And each end, I don't try to, there's snaps up here on the poncho or the hammock, but I don't try to snap those in right there. And so what I do is I just snap that to hold it in place. And I come up here into one of these loops and I pull both ends of my drawstring up through there. Then I just suck that up there, and that will close all this in, so that keeps all my draft out and everything. I do the same thing on the other end, and the underquilt is on. There's my hammock all put up, and as you can tell, the wind is blowing here a little, but so that's all in place. So now I just have to add I'm going to add the blanket to it now. I've got a new mesh bag here that I'm trying out for our gear. This is a stuff sack. It's basically a stuff sack that goes with all of our blankets and underquilts, and I'm just experimenting with using this type of bag instead of something else. So right there I've got a jet boil stove and a little bit of some hot drink if I want it. But now, so I can just pull this blanket out of here. And this, once again, it's a large. And you see on one edge of this blanket here, I've installed some snaps, just like we put in our fleece and just like the snaps on our underquilt. So these snaps here will match the snaps on the underquilt. Now this is only on one side, all the other sides are unsnapped. So I'm going to snap this on here and go underneath, up the back side, and let it lay over the top. Alright, so just finish snapping this up on this side right here. Okay, so now we're all snapped in. And I reach over the back side and pull this over top. Alright, so here's our setup right here. Basically we got a double layer cocoon type setup here, and the blanket, this is just our large blanket with a set of snaps on it. And if you followed our blankets before, you know that you don't have to snap anything on to make this work. You can just use the easy clip middies, and that's what we do most of the time. To get in here, I just raise this up and get into the hammock, and then I let this front edge fall down like that, and then that closes me completely over. I'm totally inside of there, and then I can just do my rest just like that. Alright, I'm going to get out my jet boil here. I want something hot to drink. And this jet boil actually fit. This is just the bag for our poncho, and the jet boil fits right inside of that bag, no problem. I'm going to set this thing up and go down to the creek and get some water and get this thing going while I finish tinkering around camp a little bit. Well, we'll see if I can find me a safe way to get down to the creek for some water. This creek flows all year. Alright, we'll get us some water out here. There we are, that should do it. Right there. Back to camp. All right. Put that thing on there and put the lid on and monkey around camp a little bit here. Shouldn't take but a minute or two for that to get hot. So I think I've got everything tromped down pretty good around here, so I should be able to take my snowshoes off here in camp. And I'm done running around, so I'm pretty good here. Alright, so once I get inside, the blanket just wraps over top of me and lays there, and we're good to go. This helps hold my body heat in and even moisture from my breath. It doesn't hurt anything. Excess moisture will just pass through the blanket and out. I like this is a duo from Human Gear. I like this little set, it's pretty nice. Alright, we have plenty of hot water here, so I can turn that off. I didn't really need to bring it to a boil. Of course, I did get the water out of the creek here, but I don't know, I'm not that worried about this creek water here. This is my mocha that I make, that I like. I do a couple of spoons of Pero, or you can use Catholics or Postum or whatever you want. And I have a little bit extra water in here, so I usually just do even scoops, 2 and 2. I have a little bit more in here than I normally have, so. You know, one of the nice things about this little setup right here is I can click the 2 pieces together and make a long utensil. So, well, we'll get all this stirred up and ready, and I'm going to go sit in my hammock where it's nice and comfortable and drink this up. Just being in here like this right here kind of keeps a breeze off of me. It's comfortable because I got 2 layers underneath me here, so I'm not feeling cold from underneath or anything like that. So I can sit here like this, nice and cozy. And my feet are up off the snow, so that helps a little bit. So they're actually warm. They're actually warmer sitting up like this than if I was sitting right on the ground. It's awful nice. I love camping all season of the year. Wintertime is no exception. And just a matter of trying to get comfortable, really. And you do whatever you have to do. Somebody makes fun of you because what you do or whatever, you know, that doesn't matter. You just do what you got to do that makes yourself comfortable. This is nice, man. I like the sound of the creek right here. Just, you know, we're 20 feet from the creek bank here, and that's nice. It's nice to hear that.